Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies bringing you another kill team video. So I wasn't initially intending to do the Hands of the Archon Dark Eldar kill team from the latest Soulshackle box set, as I thought I covered it with the Archon video that I already did on the channel, but I had been getting request after request after request. So who am I to argue with what the people want? So here it is today. I'm going to show you guys how to paint up one of the Hands of the Archon, and I'm going to do that really cool Flayer specialist with the two swords, nice face. Very cool model. So I'm going to show you guys how to paint that up today very quickly, very easy. It'll knock out that kill team in an evening. Before I get into it, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. Without you guys, we'll be able to keep the lights on and the cameras rolling. If you're interested in signing up to my Patreon, there are links below, and some of the benefits you can get are a private Discord server and a custom video every single week. So an extra 52 videos a year. In fact, this week's custom video was none other than K9, the Arbeit's dog, from the new Soulshackle box as well. So if you want to see that video, sign up on Patreon. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Like I've said before, I always enjoy painting Dark Eldar, so it wasn't too much of a stretch to convince me to get to paint this guy. Like I said at the beginning, I built the Flayer Specialist model just because he's quite unique with the twin blades and the cool face mask and everything like that. Really nice model. Got him sprayed black and then gave him a dusting of grey Seer. And then I'm going to start off the painting with these guys with black Templar. So if you think about a Dark Eldar suit of armor as more of the model is wearing a black body glove, and then armor panels are strapped over the top of that. So he's actually not wearing as much armor as you might think. So from his knees all the way down to his feet is just kind of his leather clothes or his body glove. And then his armor kind of starts and guards his thighs, his chest, his shoulder, and then from like his elbow down to his wrist, everything else is basically black. So what you want to do is go in with the black paint and get that base coat done on all those parts. After that, I chose Terradon Turquoise to go in for all of those armor panels. They gave it that kind of dark, shadowy blue look. It's a really nice color. It's a very simple scheme for the Dark Eldar, and I think it suits them really well. It definitely gives the desired effect. And you get them painted in absolutely no time at all, which is good for an army which is actually a horde army, to be honest. You field quite a lot of vehicles and quite a lot of infantry in a Dark Eldar force, which I quite like a lot. Actually seeing a flotilla of Dark Eldar ships floating through space is pretty cool. So once it has been applied to all the armor, obviously you make a decision if you want to do the face and the color as well, but the art they gave us was silver and gold, so I'm going to stick with that. Blood Angel's red contrast was then used on all of the fabric of this miniature. And the back part of this model, his like extra cape part, which goes from his waist all the way down, is one of the extra parts from the new sprue you get with the Soulshackles. I wish all Dark Eldar had this flowy cloak bit on the back. It adds in so much of that beautiful red color. Breaks up the scheme beautifully, and I love it. I really wish they all had it. I think it suits them down to the ground. After that, we're going to jump over to Leadbelcher and get all of the metallic parts base coated. So his whole faceplate is silver. Obviously his big flaying blades are silver. He's got a bunch of hooks and chains and like all surgeon tools and stuff, well, torture tools more than anything else, hanging off of his belt. So make sure you get a nice base coat of those. The trim on the mask was left alone, and his rings that hold up his top knot are also left blank, so I'm going to be doing those in gold in a moment. Normally there's a little bit more gold if you watch my Archon video. You know I like these like antique look for the weapons on Dark Eldar, so their pistol casings would have been. This guy's got two swords, so you don't see any of that. So it is good that I can introduce that gold color in other ways, just so he blends in with the army properly. So Retributor armor is my weapon of choice for golds. Like I said, we're going to do the trim of his helmet. This is another helmet that's from the upgrade kit. Really nice piece. Definitely going to be using as many pieces as possible from that upgrade kit to make this Kabalite squad. Use them in kill team, and then for sure throw them into my Dark Eldar force. With that done, that is all the base coats on the miniature done, and it's time to throw a shade on it. So for this, I'm going to darken the model down with Nuln Oil. I'm going to use this as an all-over shade. Every single part of the miniature is going to get a coat of Nuln Oil. This will settle into all of his serrated armor really nicely, add some really, really nice shading, and give us a really nice point to start layering up. While the shade is drying, I'm going to get the miniature based up. All my Dark Eldar are based in this kind of dark earthly grey scheme, so I went for the same thing here to make them blend in perfectly. And then after that, we're going to jump over to Sons of Horus Green and layer up all of that serrated armor. So I'm going to take my time with this. It's almost going to be like a feathering technique on all of the panels, but you really want to make sure you don't go into any of those shades or shadowy parts. You want this thing to be nice and dark. You want it to be very crisp. You want it to be very contrast, kind of bright on top, and then in the recesses you want it to be really dark. This helps with that kind of sharp angle, like sinister look of Dark Eldar. I don't know if there's anything in the 41st millennium more sinister than a Dark Eldar. And now with the Warhammer Plus Iron Within trailers showing us how the bikes move and stuff, I'm even more excited by more Dark Eldar. So I think I'll be getting my force up and running and ready for the tabletop sooner than I had expected. Some parts of this may require 2 coats. The chest piece, for instance, where it's a very big flat panel and you don't want to have any brush strokes in it, may require a 2nd coat. But when it's applied, it is really nice. You can see here that red that I was talking about is really nice on the back of them. Mephiston Red is my color of choice to layer up all of that fabric. Bright enough that you can layer over, and it's very clearly going to show you the highlighted parts, but still dark enough that it's not going to grab too much attention away from the teal armor, which I still hold as the focal point of this miniature. Being careful with all those surgeon tools and hooks now that they've been layered. We do not want to make a mess of them and have to paint over them again. And obviously being careful not to hit any of the armor or the base or anything like that when we're going in with this. Here is all of the red layered up, including his top knot, got the same treatment. And after that, we're going to jump back to Leadbelcher and highlight up all the silver and gold on the miniature. And exactly the same with the serrations on the armor and the sharp points. Even with the helmet, you want to do basically the middle point, but as it gets closer to that gold trim, you do not want to paint that in. You want to leave that as the shadow and shade part. That will create that contrast look. And obviously when we get to the gold bits, we're just going to do a few touch highlights on that. After that, it's going to be pure white painted into the slits in his visor and the gemstone thing in his chest, which I believe is some sort of light. This is going to be used to do the glowing effect on the miniature. Any pure white paint that you like to use, you can use for this stage. And it's another piece that will help tie in the model. All the eye lenses and eye sockets of all the models on the army will have the same color, the white. Then Talassar Blue will be applied to those bits. And that will give like an internal glow to those parts. Give you a really nice look with very little effort. Like, I'm convinced that I could sit down and paint this entire kill team in an evening. And if that's not helping you get something taken off your back watch, I don't know what is. Here is the finished result. A few nice still images to show you guys what it looks like on the table. And a completed Cabalite flare. Super pleased with the result. I hope you guys are as well. And there we have it, guys. One Cabalite flare from the new Soulshackle's box, painted and ready to delve into the Gallo Dark. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that it was helpful, and it will show you guys how to paint up some Dark Eldar miniatures very quickly, very achievably, and to a nice standard. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give the video a like. Drop any questions you have in the comments below, and I will get back to each and every one of you guys. And if for some crazy reason you're not already subscribed to my channel, it would mean the world to me if you took 2 seconds out of your day and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.